Okay, yeah. Good evening, everybody. It's our pleasure to have Mr. Amitesh Sarkar with us. Amitesh is doing his PhD in ICER Kolkata under the guidance of Professor Anirban Banerjee. Today, he will be speaking about join of hypergraphs and their spectra. Yeah, Amitesh,
Uh, Thank you, sir.
over to you. Yeah, please.
All of us know about graphs. Today we will start from the definition of hypergraphs, where a hypergraph is a consist of a vertex set V and an S set E, where edges are the subsets of the vertex set V. That is, E is a subset of the power set of V. Okay. If in the S set, uh, two edges, any two edges have the same cardinality, then we say the hypergraph is a uniform hypergraph. Suppose the cardinality of each S is exactly equals to M. In that case, we say the hypergraph is M uniform hypergraph. And degree of a vertex is the number of edges containing that vertex. So if a hypergraph is said to be regular if degree of every vertex exact degree of any two vertex are same. Next, paths in hypergraphs is a sequence, alternating sequence of vertices and edges, v1 e1, v2 e2, vl el, where where vi's are distinct and ei's are also distinct. Okay. A hypergraph is said to be connected if for any two vertices uh, there is a path connecting them. Actually, hypergraphs are uniquely presented by tensor or multi-arrays, but uh, to study the tensor or multi-arrays are not easy. That's why we are considering a matrix related to a hypergraph. Okay. This matrix as a matrix defined by my supervisor, Dr. Banerjee. Okay. So for a hypergraph H V E, for a hypergraph H with vertex at V and S at E, also we consider a weight function W from W, where W is a function from E to the non-negative real numbers, defined by W of E equals to WE. The adjacency matrix AH of H is defined as AH of IJ equals to the sigma of E belongs to E, I and J belongs to E. That is the summation of H weight divided by cardinality of E minus 1. Okay. So if our hypergraph is uniform, suppose cardinality of E equals to M for every E belongs to capital E, then AH of Ij equals to summation H weight divided by M minus 1. Okay. In particular, if we consider W of E equals to 1, then in that case we have ijth component of the ijth entry of the adjacency matrix exactly equals to dij by M minus 1, where dij is the number of edges containing both I and j. Okay. In the case of graph, if in the case of graph M equals to 2 and um, in the case of graph M equals to 2, and in that case AH equals to Dij, that is a number of edges containing joining the vertex I and j. Okay. Now this matrix, using this matrix, one can uh, one can study the connectedness, uh, diameter, chromatic number, etc. For this purpose, there are 2 or 3 papers by my supervisor. Okay. Now we consider the equitable partition for hypergraphs. For a hypergraph H, we say partition pi C1 C2 Ck of V is an equitable partition of V if for any P comma Q belongs to 1 to the power K, and for any I belongs to Cp, sigma of AHIJ equals to BPQ, where BPQ is a constant, depends only on P and Q. And for an equitable partition with K number of cells, the quotient matrix is BPQ equals to, quotient matrix is formed by this BPQ, K by K matrix. Characteristic matrix, vertex cell characteristic matrix. P is defined as follows: P of ij equals to 1 if the vertex I belongs to the jth cell and 0 otherwise. Okay. Now using this quotient matrix, we can find some eigenvalues of the adjacency matrix A H. Again we have AHP equals to PB, an easy calculation. Okay. So we have A power K P equals to P B power K for any K belongs to N. Therefore, for any function f of x, we have f of AHP equals to P f of B. Okay. In particular, if f of AH equals to 0, then P of P into f of B equals to 0, and that gives f of B equals to 0, where P, since P is a characteristic matrix. Okay. Again, our AH is real symmetry matrix, so it is diagonalizable. And so minimal polynomial of AH is a product of linear polynomials. That is f of B, that is minimal polynomial of B is also product of linear polynomials. That is, or this B is also diagonalizable. Okay. So for each eigenpair lambda comma f, for each eigenpair lambda comma f, lambda comma pf is also an eigenpair of the adjacency matrix AH. Now we consider a hypergraph operation, weighted joining of hypergraphs. Let H1 H2 be two uniform hypergraphs. The join of these two hypergraphs is defined as follows: H with vertex set V, where V is a disjoint union of V1 union V1 V2, and S set is E1 E2 E1 union E2 union E0, where E0 is the set of M element subsets of V, where E subset intersects both the partition, both the subsets V1 as well as V2. And we consider a weight function for the new hypergraph W from E to R, non-negative R, by defined by WP equals to W1 of E, that is edge weight of each edge belongs to E1 or E2, even fixed, and W of E equals to W12, where W12 is a non-negative constant. W12 is a new edge weight, edge weight of the new edges. Okay. Now using this operation, we consider as a set of joinings of a set of uniform hypergraphs. Let S be a set of M uniform hypergraphs where K less than equals to M. Okay. Using this set, we construct a new M uniform hypergraph H, where vertex set V is the union of V1 V2 Vk, and S set equals to union of E1 E2 Ek together with new S set E0, or E0 equals to M element subset of V, such that the subsets intersects each Vi with coordinate of E equals to M. And consider weight function. For this newly constructed hypergraph, we write H equals to summation Hi belongs to S Hi. Now we want to find the adjacency spectrum of this newly constructed hypergraph using the adjacency spectrum of Hi's. Okay, before that we look into the adjacency matrix of this join H. This matrix is of this form. Adjacency matrix of AH can be expressed as follows: AH of Ij equals to, where AHP is the adjacency matrix of the hypergraph HP. Okay, where DPP SM and DPQ SM are constants depending only on P and Q. Right, we use this joining operation to form another hypergraph on a backbone hypergraph. Let H be a M-uniform hypergraph. We call the hypergraph HB with vertex set VB, H set EB, and weight function WB as a backbone of H. If H can be constructed by a set of M-uniform hypergraphs with the following operations. We replace the vertex I of the backbone hypergraph HB by the hypergraph HI. Okay. We replace vertex I of the backbone hypergraph HB by HI for I equals to 1 to the power n, and for each E, for each HE equals to, suppose E equals to the J1, J2 to the JK, and H belonging to EB of the that is the backbone hypergraph. Take SE equals to corresponding hypergraphs, that is HJ1 for the vertex J1 and HJ2 for the vertex J2. That is, for each SE we consider the set of hypergraphs SE and apply the join operation for every S. We call the hypergraphs HI as participants on the backbone HB to form the hypergraph H. The adjacency matrix of H can be written as AH of Ij equals to AHP Ij, AH Ij. If Ij belongs to VP, that is for the hypergraph HP, then that entry will be AHP Ij plus constant term. If I equal to Z, then 0. If I belongs to VP and J belongs to another vertex cell VQ, then that entry will be a constant. Now we want to calculate, we want to compute the adjacency spectrum of this type of hypergraphs using the adjacency spectrums of HIs. Before that, we state two important theorems: Perron-Frobenius and Schur complement. A matrix is called reducible if there is a permutation matrix P, such that PAP transpose equals to this type of. Otherwise, A is said to be irreducible. One can see that H is connected if and only if A is irreducible. Next, Perron-Frobenius theorem. For a non-negative irreducible matrix A, we have a positive eigenvalue lambda with positive eigenvector. Positive eigenvector means n2 is positive, and that lambda is simple. And for any other eigenvalue mu of A, modulus of mu less than lambda. would complement for a n by n partition matrix, for a matrix n by n, for a n by n matrix A, which can be partitioned as A11, A12, A21, A22, where A11 and A22 are square matrices. If A11 and A22 are invertible, then we can find the determinant using this equation. Now we have a theorem. Let HB be a hypergraph with a vertex set VB and let HIs be a collection of regular M uniform hypergraphs. Regular M uniform hypergraphs. And let H be the M uniform hypergraph constructed by taking HB as backbone hypergraph and HI as participants. Then for any non-parent eigenvalue of AHP with multiplicity L, this quantity lambda minus the constant term is an eigenvalue of AH with multiplicity at least L. One can see the proof. For an eigenpair lambda comma f AHP we define f star from V2 R by f star of V equals to f of V if V belongs to the vertex cell VP, otherwise 0. Then this function is an eigen function for the quantity lambda minus a constant term. That completes the proof. Okay. Now here using this result we have some eigenvalues, but the question is it possible to find the other remaining eigenvalues of the adjacency matrix corresponding to the hypergraph? For this purpose, if these HIs are regular, then the partition V1, V2, Vn forms an equitable partition of H. In particular, if HIs are irregular, then the quotient matrix can be written as follows. Okay, now suppose Vi be a set of linearly independent eigenvectors of B, then P is our characteristic matrix. PGI is also a set of linearly independent eigenvectors of H. Now from the proof of the above theorem, we have sigma ni minus n linearly independent eigenvectors Fi star of H. So we have a set of summation ni eigenvectors of H. Now the question is this set is linearly independent. Okay. This calculation shows that this set is actually linearly independent. Okay. So using this above theorem and the quotient matrix, we have all the eigenvalues of the hypergraph. In a particular case where HIs are regular. In a corollary, if we consider the backbone hypergraph is an M uniform M parted hypergraph, M uniform hypergraph with one edge. Then we have the eigenvalues of the hypergraph using the above theorem. As an example, if we consider this HIs equals to complement of the complete M uniform hypergraph with ni vertices, and ws equals h08 equals to 1, then the joining of this hi will give us complete M uniform k-partite hypergraph. Complete M uniform k-partite hypergraph. Using the above Pauli, we get for any I, this constant is an eigenvalue of the Arrangement matrix of this complete k M uniform k-partite hypergraph, and the remaining eigenvalues are the eigenvalues of the quotient matrix B. Okay. In this example, if we take k equals to m, that is, if we consider complete M uniform M-partite hypergraph, then 0 is an 0 as an 0 is an eigenvalue of this of the Arrangement matrix of this complete M uniform M-partite hypergraph with multiplicity at least summation ni minus n, and the remaining eigenvalues are the eigenvalues of this quotient matrix, and the quotient matrix can be written as follows. Okay, where is I? From this matrix, we can see that a non-zero number alpha is an eigenvalue of the complete M uniform M-partite hypergraph Km n1 n2 nm if and only if r power m minus 1 alpha belongs to is an eigenvalue of the complete M uniform M-partite, but here Km Rn1 Rn2 and dot Rnm. Now this is an open problem to find the to find all the eigenvalues of this complete M uniform M-partite hypergraph. In a special case, if we consider this type of M uniform M-partite hypergraph with K M n1 L1 times and n2 L2 times where L1 plus L2 equals to m, then the quotient matrix formed by the for the equatorial partition formed by the m parts can be written as follows: b equals to 1 by m minus 1 b prime, where b prime is a matrix S1, where ji's are the all one matrix, where JL1 L2 are square matrices and JL1 L2 is all one matrix of order L1 L2. Now using the Schur complement, we have all the eigenvalues of this type of hypergraphs. Now using a result from integral complete from the paper, integral complete by multivariate graphs by R.B. Baffert, we have this proposition, the characteristic polynomial of this complete M uniform M-partite hypergraph. This. Now we know only the characteristic polynomial of this hypergraph, but what are the eigenvalues of this? What are the eigenvalues of this type of hypergraph? We don't know. From the result, it is clear that 0 multiplicity of the eigenvalue 0 of this hypergraph is exactly n minus m. Now we want to find the eigenvalues, adjacent eigenvalues of cycles, especially loose cycles. There are various type of cycles in hypergraphs, but we are interested about loose cycles. Before that, we discuss about H corona. H corona of a hypergraph. Let H0 be an M uniform hypergraph with S set E0 and vertex set V0, where coordinate of V0 is N0. Also let HIs be M uniform hypergraphs. For each edge EI, we consider join operation of EI plus HI. EI, we can think EI as a hypergraph of is an M uniform hypergraph with one edge and M vertices. The new hypergraph is known as edge corner of the hypergraphs, and we write it by this notation: H equals to H0 box for K HI. Okay. Now we have a theorem. Let H0 be an M uniform hypergraph with N vertices and K edges, and let HIs be a set of M uniform hypergraphs. Then the characteristic polynomial of AH for the H corner is as follows. This result can be proved by using Schur complement. As a corollary of this theorem, if we consider HIs are R1 regular, HIs are R1 regular, HIs are R1 regular, and vertices, cardinality of the vertex set of HIs are N1. Then using the eigenvalues of AHI, we can write the characteristic polynomial of H by this, where R1 all of HIs are R1 regular and cardinality of the vertex set is exactly equals to N1. Okay. Another corollary, if we consider H0 is R regular and HIs are R1 regular, then the adjacent eigenvalues of HIs are then the adjacent eigenvalues of H can be completely determined by using the eigenvalues of HIs, adjacent eigenvalues of HIs and H0. Now we use these results to find the adjacent eigenvalues of loose cycles and characteristic polynomials of loose paths. First, we define loose cycles. A loose path is an M uniform hypergraph with the vertex set V 1 2 dot dot m plus n1 n minus 1 into m minus 1, and S set is this is the S set E equals to actually if we see the diagram, and then loose cycles will look like this form, that is consecutive two edges contains exactly same number of vertices, same number of common vertices. This is a diagram of loose cycles, and if we erase one edge, then it will become a loose path. Okay, and in that case S is equals to 2. These are loose cycles S loose cycles, where S is equals to 2 and M uniform, M is here 7, and N, the number of edges here exactly equals to 6. One can consider S equal to 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now our aim is to find the adjacency spectrum of this loose cycle. Okay. We have this theorem. The adjacency eigenvalues of an S loose cycle are, these are the S loose eigenvalues of S loose cycles when m equals to 2s, m equals to 2s, 2 times of s. That is, in that case, the intermediate, this there will be no vertices, this type of vertices. And these are the eigenvalues as the eigenvalues of the loose cycle when m greater than equal to 2s plus 1. That is this type of loose cycles. Okay. So we have one more case when m less than equals to, no sorry, when m less than 2s plus 1. Till now we are able to find the eigenvalues of these two types of loose cycles. So if we consider s equals to 1, if we consider s equals to 1, if we consider s equals to 1 and m equals to 2, then this loose cycle will be exactly equals to the cycles in graph. Okay. Okay. The proof of this theorem is as follows. S1 when m equals to 2s. In that case, we consider the Cn or Cn the cyclic graph. If in that case we take Cn the cyclic graph over n vertices as a backbone graph, and HIs are K is complete graph of S vertices are the participants. Then using the first theorem, we have all the eigenvalues. We have minus 2 divided by 2s minus 1 is an eigenvalues of H with multiplicity at least n into s minus 1, and the remaining eigenvalues are the eigenvalues of the quotient matrix B, where B can be written as follows, depending on the adjacency matrix of the cyclic graph Cn. Again, we know the eigenvalues of the adjacency matrix of Cn. The remaining eigenvalues of this H are this, because we know the adjacency matrix of Cn, and this is the identity matrix of In. So eigenvalues are this s minus 1, this s plus s times of this, and plus 2 into s minus 1, and that will become this 2 by 2s minus 1 and s minus 1 plus s cos 2 pi I by n. If we consider s equals to 1, if we consider s equals to 1, then we will get 2 cos 2 pi I by n for I equals to 1 to the order n. The second case, when m greater than equal to 2s plus 1. In that case, we consider the h current of Cn and k1, that is just a single point, as a backbone graph, and And we write the vertex of HB as VC vertex Cn equals to 1 to the n, and that is here we partitioned the backbone graph in two parts. There is vertex of Cn 1 to the n and another set n plus 1 dot dot n plus 1 comma n plus 2 dot dot 2n. This graph has 2n vertices and these are the 2n vertices. Okay. Now in this backbone graph, for this part, for the first part, we consider H as equals to complete graph with S vertices and with age weight 1 as participants, and for the second part we consider complete graph with m minus 2s vertices with age weight 2. For the first part we consider these graphs with age weight 1, and for the second part we consider the complete graph with age weight 2. Here the complete graph with m minus 2s vertices. Okay. So here considering HB as backbone graph and with h weight 1 and GH as participant with, we get a graph G. In that case our AH will be equals to 1 by m minus 1 into AG, where AG is the asymmetries of the graph. Now, so if we know the if we find adjacent eigenvalues of this graph AG, then that will give us the eigenvalues, all the eigenvalues of this adjacent matrix AH. Okay. Now using the first theorem, we get the eigenvalues of AG, which are minus 1 with multiplicity at least n into m minus 2s minus 1 and minus 2 with multiplicity n into s minus 1, and the remaining 2n eigenvalues are the eigenvalues of the quotient matrix defined by this, where BPQ equals to this 1 by m minus 1 to RQ, where RQ is this 2s minus 2, and NQ, if here it will be G small b. If P adjacent to Q, then that entry will be NQ, where NQ equals to S for Q equals to 1 to n, and if P equals Q, there are diagonal entries are RQ, where RQ equals to m minus 2s minus 1. Okay, that is, we can write the quotient matrix B as follows, where ACN, these are adjacency matrix of the cyclic graph Cn, and Y is an n cross n cyclic circulant matrix with the first row 0 0 dot dot 1. This is a circulant matrix, n cross n circulant matrix. Now using Schur complement, sorry, it will be Schur complement, using Schur complement and the fact, In plus product of these two matrices will be equals to 2 of In plus adjacent matrix of Cn. We have the characteristic polynomial of this B prime as follows. Again, the eigenvalues of ACN are mu I 2 equals to 2 cos 2 pi I by n, where I equals to 1 to the n. Thus we have this relation, and from this the result follows. Now we have another case when m less than equal to 2s minus 1. So m less than equals to 2s minus 1. third case, m less than 2s, less than equal to 2s minus 1. Here for the second part, from the second part we have all the eigenvalues of the loop cycles when m greater than equal to 2s plus 1. From the first part we have all the eigenvalues of the loop cycle when m is 2s. Now till now we are unable to find the eigenvalues of the loop cycle when m less than equal to 2s minus 1. Okay. Next, using the similar technique, using the similar technique and a lemma which depend on the linearity of the determinant. Sorry. We have the characteristic polynomial of Lutz path and some eigenvalues of the arithmetics of Lutz path. So till now it is open to find all the eigenvalues as an eigenvalues of this Lutz path. Okay. Next, we know hypergraphs are uniquely represented by tensors, and here we are considering just a matrix. For this matrix, there are a lot of hypergraphs with same as an eigenvalues. There is co-spectral hypergraph. Okay. Using vertex corner, we can construct this type of hypergraphs, an infinite family of pairs of non-isomorphic co-spectral hypergraph. Okay. For this, we consider the operation vertex corner. This is an extension of vertex corner for graphs. Let H0 be an M uniform hypergraph and pi is a partition of the vertex set V0, where each Vi contains exactly same number of vertices, exactly p number of vertices. Also, we consider another a set of M uniform hypergraphs Hi's with vertex set Vi. Now we consider the joining operation with this with this parts V0 power I, V0I, and with p copies of Hi's. That will gives us a generalized corner of hypergraphs, and we denote this hypergraph as H pi equals to H0, not p power p over k Hi. Here we consider the case when Ni equals to N1 and Hi's are R1 regular. Now we want to find the Cauchy polynomial of this generalized corner hypergraph for this case. And for this, we need Kronecker product between two matrices defined as follows: defined as A Kronecker product B is a partition matrix Aij to B, and that Kronecker product satisfies the condition AB Kronecker product of CD equals to A product C and B product D when multiplication makes sense. Now we have a theorem. Cauchy polynomial of this generalized corner hypergraph is equals to this. This result can be proved using Schur complement. Now if we consider p equals to 1, that is this part contains exactly one vertex. then we will get the H-Kern of hypergraph. And in that case, if we consider H0, if we in that case, if we consider H as our R1 regular, then we have all the eigenvalues. Then we can find all the eigenvalues of this H-Kern of hypergraph. Another corollary, if we consider k equals to 1 and H0 is R0 regular and HIs are here, HI will be exactly 1 H1 and that is R1 regular, then we have all the eigenvalues, all the adjacent eigenvalues of this hypergraph. Okay. Now, if our H0, if we consider two non-isomorphic hypergraph, H0 and G0, if we consider just two non-isomorphic hypergraph, H0 and G0, then H-Kern of this H0 with any other hypergraph, suppose H1, and we consider H-Kern of G0 with that hypergraph H1, then these two hypergraphs will be non-isomorphic but co-spectral. And we can construct this non-isomorphic co-spectral hypergraph in a similar technique, Gottschall-McQuay. But we are not just to present this here. Okay, just an example. This is an example of non-isomorphic co-spectral 3 uniform hypergraph. So starting with this H0 and G0, we can construct another pair of non-isomorphic co-spectral hypergraph. Okay. These are the references. Thank you.
Thank you, Amitesh, for the interesting talk. Yeah, for the detailed proofs. Yeah, audience, if you have any question, we can ask now.
Actually, there are a lot of problems, open problems to regarding this asymmetrics of.
Yeah, it's a relatively new field. There are a lot of problems.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a small question. Like the corona, when you see the base paper by Professor Patti and Professor Smita,
Yes, sir.
they have considering this problem, this reciprocal eigenvalue property.
Oh.
Have you seen that? When
Sir,
lambda,
but here we are considering the Schur complement result.
Okay. No, the question is when lambda and 1 by lambda will be eigenvalue of the adjacency matrix.
Oh.
So in that very first paper, I think it appeared in SAM in 2007.
Sir, yes.
So, yeah, that they have calculated the spectrum of corona product.
Corona of two graphs.
Yeah, that is corona. Yeah. I think the second part of the paper discusses this.
The spectrum of the corona of two graphs, Siam.
Yes, Siam paper. Siam in that paper, I think second part or third part, that paper discusses about this reciprocal eigenvalue property. Yeah, after that, they have written another couple of papers. You can see that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, audience, if you have any other question, you can ask now. Okay, if not, thank you, Amitesh.